in 403 short days, the next mayor and the next city council are going to take over a much more prepared city and a prosperous city and a city that's now heading in the right direction, a city that I call an ascendant city, not a descending city. And I think everybody in America recognizes that, and you should too. It's important because what you do next is maybe going to be the most important thing that the city has done in its history. Every major city that has brought its back self from disaster, New York in 1976, Detroit, Chicago, has had a continued period of success that was longer than 8 years. You got to string 16, 24, 30 years together to kind of get you back to correct major historical wrongs. So I didn't do this by myself. The most important thing to learn from our administration is what I call the new New Orleans way, and that's everybody in. Everybody taking responsibility, everybody getting opportunity. In other words, partnerships. This city's not big enough as a government to do anything on its own. You have to have the federal government, the state government, the local government, the not-for-profit, the business community, faith-based organizations, everybody at the table all of the time. That is the new way. Nothing that we do, no success that we've had, has not had those kinds of ingredients. And of course, an organization like BGR helps keep us focused and to the point. And I want to thank you for all the work that you've done, because you've added a great amount of intellectual capital and political support for some of the initiatives that people thought in this city could never get done. And then, of course, one of the things that the BGR has led the effort on is equalizing property tax assessments, having a property tax system that works well. Ours doesn't work well because we have too many exemptions. It's like a piece of Swiss cheese. It's this high, it's this thin, and it's got a bucket load of holes in it. What that essentially means is that a few people are paying more than they're supposed to. And what you have to do, and now I'm talking about the not-for-profits, listen to me, the church, the Archbishop's going to call me, Tulane's going to call me. You can't have a city if the city doesn't have any revenue. You don't want to tax people out of being able to be here, but if everybody pays their fair share, everybody can pay a little bit. When you take 65% of the property off the tax rolls and your only source of major income is property tax, you're only hitting 35% of the people. I mean, we're second grade. We can figure that out, right? And so we've got to work through that. But of course, when you start getting into tax reform, you know, Russell Long comes back really, really quickly. Don't tax you, don't tax me, tax the man behind the tree. That is the long-term biggest structural fight that we're going to see in the legislature coming soon. On top of that, I would just ask the legislature, stop telling the city council and the mayor how to do their job. Y'all worry about your state stuff, let us do the city stuff. Let the city council go through the budget process the way that we do, because we have open hearings. And otherwise, you know, be our partner and help us out.
Another question, what does the city need in the next mayor? What do voters need to be looking for? What advice would you give to the next mayor?
Well, I'm going to make an assumption here that not everybody thinks that everything that I did was great. So you may have your disagreements with some decisions that I've made about certain things. I hope you agree that in me and in my team, that you have an honest person standing in front of you. You have a person that has given you pretty much every minute of every day of my highest performing years in my life, and that we work hard. You have somebody that has hired good people based on their competence, which is really, really important. You have somebody that decided that New Orleans had to stop being a pay-for-play city. This is critically important. The first thing that we did was a procurement reform. Y'all worked on this for lots of years. We did it our first day with you. That single executive order to level the playing field so that the business community and the contractors knew they had a fair shake has helped explode the private sector investment.